Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Hidayah binti Jalaluddin. Matric number 262811. So for today, I would like to tell something related with water supply. So the content of this slide is I will explain further details about what is water supply, the types of water resource, the problem of water resource, and the technology to solve the problem of water contamination. Okay, the first part is I will explain about the meaning of water supply. What is water supply actually? Water supply is the water that is provided and treated for a particular area. Second, a source or a process of supplying water for a community, including reservoirs, tunnels, and pipelines. They deliver water to consumer with appropriate quality and quantity and pressure. So that is the meaning of water supply. Then, why water supply is important to building? Why water supply is very important to building? Because the first one is water supply system infrastructure for the collection, transmission, treatment, storage, and distribution of water for homes, commercial establishment, industry, and irrigation, as well as for such public needs as firefighting and street flushing. Of all municipal services, provision of potable water is perhaps the most vital. People depend on water to drink, to cook, washing, carrying overwears, and other domestic needs. Water supply system also must meet requirements for public, commercial, and industrial activities. So that is the reason why the water supply is important to building. Right, now I will um, explain details about types of water resource. So basically we have two main of water resource, which is surface water and also groundwater. There are two main source of water, surface water and also groundwater, as I mentioned just now. So surface water is found in lakes, rivers, and reservoirs, while groundwater lies under the surface of the land, where it travels through and fills opening in the rocks. The rocks that store and transmit groundwater are called aquifers. Groundwater must be pumped from an aquifer to the earth's surface for use. So, surface water. Surface water resource are the most commonly used method of supplying water. This classification primarily includes rivers, lakes, streams, reservoirs, and wetlands, all of which contain fresh water rather than salt water. These sources are easiest to filter, so they produce the higher quality drinking water for the general public. Plus, another reason why we mostly use this resource is their accessibility, is because of the accessibility. Many people live near lake, streams, from which they can easily extract water. Surface water is therefore the most reasonable option for providing homes and business with the resource they need uh, to function. However, people commonly use rivers and lakes for recreational activities such as swimming, fishing, and this place also play a part in the industrial manufacturing process. As such, water from this source requires extensive sterilization before it's ready for consumption and use. So for groundwater, believe it or not, there is actually a larger source of water underneath your feet than there is in all the rivers and lakes combined. However, we rarely get to tap into this source due to how difficult they are to reach. Groundwater fills the cracks in bedrock and sand beneath the surface, making contaminants tedious to filter out in large quantities. This source also saturates soil and contains so much sediment that the water must undergo a true filtration process to even become drinkable. So while groundwater is the main source of plant hydration, it's not often a sustainable option for people. Fortunately, we are not completely cut off from groundwater source. Many of them feed some of our surface water supplies through underground spring. So that is the explanation about types of water resource, which is surface water and groundwater that we use in Malaysia. Now I will explain about water source in Malaysia. Okay, as you guys can see, Malaysia use 99% water supply for domestic use from surface water, while another 1% of the supply from groundwater. Total internal Malaysia water resource are estimated about 580 km per year, and 30% water withdrawal is for municipal use. Water supply mainly from surface water and groundwater was treated and distributed to consumers as tap water, bottled drinking water, and bottled mineral water, which were used as drinking water for sure. In Malaysia, main source of drinking are tap water, bottled drinking water, and bottled mineral water. Water supply from surface water is widely used as drinking water in Malaysia, such as water withdrawal from Sungai Langat, Sungai Selangor, Sungai Kita in West Coast Peninsula, Malaysia. Water supply from groundwater is also used as drinking water in just a few states of Malaysia, such as Kelantan, Terengganu, Pahang, Perlis, Kedah, Sabah, and Sarawak. So basically, we use surface water more than groundwater. Now I will focus on water source problem. Before I start to explain detail about the water source problem, let me share the main cause of water crisis. So based on KINDISI 2018, in the broad social, economic, and environmental context of the 21st century, the following principle and problems and process are the main causes of the water crisis. So what is the causes? The first one is intense urbanization, increasing the demand for water, expanding the discharge of contaminated water resource, while there is tremendous demand for water for drinking and economic and social development. Second, water stress and scarcity in many regions of the planet due to alterations in availability and increased demand. Third, poor infrastructure or infrastructure in a critical state in many urban areas with losses in the network of up to 30% after treatment. Problems of stress. The fourth is problems of stress and scarcity due to global changes with extreme hydrological events increasing the human population's vulnerability and compromising food security. Last one is problems caused by the lack of articulation and lack of consistent actions of government ability of water resource and for environmental sustainability. So, all those problems that I mentioned just now contribute to an increase and exacerbation of sources of contamination. Second, alterations of the sources of water resources with scarcity and decreased availability. Third, increased vulnerability of the human population due to contamination and difficulty to access to good quality water. Now, we will focus on problems that related to surface and groundwater. So, as groundwater is pumped from the water wells, there usually is a localized drop in the water table around the well called a cone of depression. When there are a large number of wells that have been pumping water for a long time, the regional water table can drop significantly. This is called groundwater mining, which can force the drilling of deeper, more expensive wells that commonly encounter more saline groundwater. Rivers, lakes, and artificial lakes can also be depleted due to overuse. For example, some large rivers, such as the Colorado in the US and Yellow in China, run dry in some years. So, for the surface water covering about 70% of the Earth's surface water is what fills our oceans, lakes, rivers, and all those other blue bits on the world map. Surface water from freshwater source, that is from source other than the ocean, accounts more than 60% of the water delivered to American homes, but a significant pool of that water is buried. According to the most recent surveys on national water quality from the US Environmental Protection Agency, nearly half of our rivers and streams and more than one-third of our lakes are polluted and unfit for swimming, fishing, and drinking. So that is the example at the US. But we can imagine that the problem that happened in the US is the same that happened in Malaysia. The condition of the surface water. So that is a problem related with the surface and groundwater. Now I will continue a little bit about the problem that related with the water source. So factors associated with heavy metal contamination in drinking water are the source of drinking water leaching of the heavy metal from corroded pipeline and unhygienic drinking water practice. Most of drinking water sources are from surface water and groundwater, which are susceptible to heavy metal pollution due to natural occurrence and anthropogenic activities. Heavy metals such as ferrum and others naturally occur in soils that will infiltrate into the water body. Anthropogenic activities such as mining, industrial and agricultural activity also contribute to heavy metal pollution in the water body due to improper wastewater management and runoff from fertilizer. Also, heavy metals such as ferrum and others could be leached out from the corroded pipeline system. Corrosion of pipe occurs. Uh, corrosion. Corrosion of pipe occurs resulting from aging and pitting. So, pipe life, pipe lifetime. Corrosion of pipe occurs resulting from aging and pitting. Pipe lifetime depends on the pipe material and protective lining of inner pipe usually degraded over time, which will cause corrosion when water contacts with metal coating. So, to overcome all those problems, we need technology. So there are several technology that can help to solve the problem of water contamination in Malaysia. So the first one is use LOT to monitor rivers. This is one of the technology that have been recognized in Malaysia but did not implement yet. So the Jefferson project was initiated amid concern over the health and future of Lake Gorge. The project, a partnership between RPI, the Fund for Lake Gorge and IBM Analytics Solution Center, aims to improve our understanding of the human impact on freshwater and develop mitigation strategies for the future of water security. So this project was launched in 2013. Was designed to create a high-resolution real-time image of the lake through the addition of an IoT network to an existing environmental monitoring system. The goal is to understand, preserve, and predict the future of the lake using database science and to gain knowledge to inform policy and decision making. Currently, there are over 42 sensor platforms deployed in the watershed and 5 models under development for weather, runoff, salt circulation, and food webs. The sensors monitor for vertical profiling of water quality. So for instance, the sensor can be placed in the middle of the river or on river banks. Other monitoring IoT sensors can be placed below a bridge, on lamp poles near the river, or on dedicated poles. Meanwhile, the sensor placed in pipes can detect leakage. Other locations include manholes into which some irresponsible parties dump toxic waste, which then end in major rivers. So the sensor will detect whenever someone opens the manhole cover. This can also address the problem of people stealing manhole cover. So basically the sensor, IoT sensor to monitor the river. So just place the sensor at the strategic place so we can detect people, irresponsible people, we can detect toxic and whatsoever. So this is very good technology to implement to overcome the problem that related with water. Second is a biotech solution to stop pollution at source. The EcoBall. It is an EcoBall made of enzymes that break down fat and nutrients into water and carbon dioxide within 3 days. By Team Care Biotech Sdn Bhd. The third technology is use of advanced water treatment technology, which is treating raw water as compared with the conventional treatment method used in this country. Technology will also be able to provide a better quality water supply to consumers, thus avoiding recurrence of water supply disruption following the closure of water treatment plants. So these three technology can be implemented to solve the problem of water contamination in Malaysia. That's all from me. Thank you.